Guys, how are you? Sorry I was out on Thursday and Friday. Um, we've all been affected in different ways. Everything's fine. Everyone's healthy here. So, um, all my kids are in bed. So I'm going to post this really late, and I'm sorry for that. I'm going to post it to both cohorts just because since the high school is going remote tomorrow, I just don't know who's going to be there and who's not. So this is what I'm going to do. Hopefully, everyone has a copy of The Giver. If you don't, it is not the end of the world because I'm going to try and post the audio book, but it also has the reader like following along in the book, which I think is helpful because then you have like the visual of the person reading it to you. Sorry, something in my eye. So I'm going to do that for chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the reason is because I think some of you might have missed 1 and 2 and whatever, but it's even if you're a little bit behind in the reading, it's not the end of the world. So just start from the beginning and work your way through. Okay. So I'm going to post all of those chapters. Now, what I've started doing, I read this book before, obviously, but what I've started doing is thinking about what we're supposed to study in this book. We're not just going to read it, we're studying what's called theme. And so the idea is that there's certain things that you see consistently throughout the book that you're sort of following. And so what I didn't realize when I started sort of rereading the book tonight is I was looking at really specific vocabulary. So the interesting part about this book is that it's probably only like a 4th or 5th grade reading level book, but thematically there's like a lot going on. So there's a lot that you could study. So some of the words that come up in chapter 1 that I didn't even realize actually, the word frightened comes up in the first sentence of the book, right? And then the mother says it later in chapter 1. So the word frightened comes up in 2 different contexts in chapter 1 alone. And then there are words like apprehensive. The father also says he's concerned. So these are not like super uplifting, like happy-go-lucky type of words, which I think are interesting. And then there's also this point where somebody makes the declaration, the father makes the declaration, there are rarely disappointments. And so I think that means something in that moment, but it can also mean something in other moments in the novel globally. Okay. So I'm mentioning all this because I want you, as you're reading, to start just making observations because when we get together remotely on Wednesday, that's probably when we're going to do the writing together. Okay. One other thing I just want to mention is that if things go along the way they are now, in terms of the hybrid model, I'm one of the teachers that volunteered to teach the cohort that's not in the building, and that would start on Thursday. So particularly if you're cohort A, I want you to start thinking about whether or not, well, you need to be doing this. So you need to get your head around the idea that you're probably going to be showing up for English remotely starting on Thursday. It's a pilot program that we're trying out. So I just want you to start considering that, but I'll have more information as the week goes on because as I said, I wasn't there Thursday and Friday to talk to anybody. So I do apologize. But anyway, so you are reading chapters 1 and 2 or listening to chapters 1 and 2 if you didn't do that on Thursday and Friday, and you're moving along with chapters 3 and 4 on Monday and Tuesday, then we're going to tune in and we're going to talk about those first 42 pages and have an idea what we're going to write about thematically. So it's up to you whether or not you're going to continue to handwrite like you did with the author's blurb and then embed it into the writer's notebook. These writing assignments I think will be short enough that you could like handwrite it as like a draft and then get it in there typed, or you could just start typing within that large Google Doc, whatever's easier for you. Okay. So I know that's a lot at once, but I just want to get it out there for Sunday night for Monday. All right. Hope you're having a good night. Or I hope you're in bed, really. It's almost 10. So thanks, guys. Take care.